But let's say we want to create a MacBook Pro. Okay, a MacBook Pro is a laptop. So MacBook Pro is a specific laptop, which means that there are some properties which are only for the MacBook Pro, but in general it is a laptop. So it will have a price, a model name, and RAM, and so on. Okay. So how can we use actually how can we create a MacBook Pro laptop without writing again the whole code that we wrote here for the laptop, because it's practically it's the same code. We can do that creating a new class. We call this class, let's say, MacBook Pro. Oh, sorry, I created this in the false packages. So I move it as here. Okay, MacBook Pro here. Okay, so let's say a MacBook Pro, of course, is from Apple. So let's say the string of brand name is different, which is of course Apple. Okay, and let's keep it simple. Let's keep it so. Okay, so now of course we have to create this laptop. So it means we have to create a constructor public with the name, same name as the class name, so MacBook Pro. Okay, and then we should give here the wall parameters attributes that we also use here. It means I should just copy this and copy these attributes here and add this here inside and put it here. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I want to use the laptop class. Okay, how can I do that? Well, first of all, I use a word here which is extends. Okay, extends what? Well, the class laptop. What does it mean? It means that I will use all the attributes and methods of this class also in this class. Okay, this concept is called inheritance, because we inherit methods and attributes from a in this case, superclass, which is this one. Okay, and we are using a subclass, which is the MacBook Pro. Okay, MacBook Pro is a laptop. So, and now we have to implement here the wall things that this one, so the wall attributes here. I just copied them and pasted them here. Okay, and now actually I don't have to write again this and this and this. Why? Well, because in this case, we use this because we declared here the variable price and so on. In this case, we didn't. Okay, we didn't. We just used the word here super, which means go to the superclass and put in your constructor price, model name, RAM, and hard drive. And that's it. I'm just saying use this constructor here of this class and give this value to this class. Okay, so that I cannot have to use the wall methods and so on, the variable declaration that I've already used here. Okay, so in this case I want to add something more here. I want to use the string brand name, because this is something that it's typical for MacBook Pro and not for another laptop. Another laptop will be another value. Okay, so in order to do that, I will write here string brand name, and then I will write here this dot brand name equal to brand name. So by doing that, I'm creating an object which extends the wall attributes and methods of from the class laptop, and at the same time I will add something more in this object, which is specific for this object, which is in this case just as an example the brand name. Okay, so and now of course I want to create a getter and setter for this attribute, because for the other one I already had, because they are here. Okay, so just create getter and setters, then source and getters and setters, brand name, and generate, and that's it. Okay, I can of course also create a toString method. Yeah, and then you have here high narrated fields. Okay, so you can also use the unrated fields, which are price, model name, and so on. Actually, I want that. Okay, so generate, and that's it. So now let's create in our laptop builder a MacBook Pro. So MacBook Pro, MacBook Pro equal new MacBook with some price, let's say 2,000 euros. Model name, let's say it should be MacBook Pro, I don't know, MacBook Pro Book Pro 3.4. Okay, and then this is just a value. And RAM, let's say 8. An hard drive, I have to use I can use the hard drive here that I already created here. Let's say, let's use this. And then a brand name, of course, this is actually I did here a mistake, because we don't have to declare, you don't have to use that this in our constructor, because I already implemented here, and this is a MacBook Pro. It means that the brand name will be always Apple. Let's just create another variable. Let's just create a string LCD equal to Retina, which is typical for some MacBooks. So, and I don't want to use here brand name. I will just want to write here LCD. Okay, and then here also LCD, and here also LCD. Okay. Yeah, and I don't want to declare this one here, because I will give it when I create the laptop, but I know that the values brand name will be always the same. I want also to create getters and setters from this method, from this attributes. So just create a resource getters and setters of LCD, generate. So, and that's it. And now let's this should be fine. This should be a brand name, price, Apple. We have to add then let's just override this. Let's just do create again to string also. Yeah, I want to recreate again with this one, and that's it. Now we have the new toString method override. Okay, that's it. Now we are in a laptop builder. So, and here I have to give the parameter the value Retina, and that's it actually. So if I go here inside MacBook Pro and I use my dot, I have here, for example, hard drive, but actually I didn't use the hard drive here in the MacBook class. We don't have an hard drive here. Okay, why? Well, because we are using this one here, okay. So we are not we have not implemented a model name or price here. We don't have these attributes here, but we have them here. Okay, so we use the laptop in order to build a MacBook Pro, since this laptop class is actually a blueprint for all laptops, and then we can just add some characteristics, properties, which are only valid for the MacBook Pro. For example, LCD of type Retina, and the brand name, which is of course Apple. So if I run if I use let's say price, I will have sorry, I must call the method get price, and let's also call the toString method, which is here. Okay, and that's it. So, and let's use a system out print line as always to just print the value. Oops. And here also. And if we run the application, we have here the MacBook Pro price, which is 2000, and the wall MacBook Pro, which has a brand name and Apple, LCD and Retina, a price of 2000, model name MBP34, an hard drive, which is a Samsung hard drive that we created here, and so on. Okay. Of course, I could also not create. I could have also not created this method. Let's just comment this method. Okay. But I have, in any way, yeah, I don't get an error. Why? Because in this case, this toString is from the class laptop, which is this one here, and not from this class. Okay, you can see here. This is why I don't get an error laptop, which is practically the same. We don't have in this case, of course, the name, so this name, because we don't print this name, this value brand name. We only have the attributes in the toString method of the laptop class. Okay, so you can just uncomment or comment out this again, and if we go here and if you click on to type toString, now we have MacBook Pro and not laptop anymore. Okay, because we are overriding the laptop, the toString method from laptop. And not overriding, actually we are using, that's not an override, we are just using a new toString method. Okay, so and that's it. Well, the question could be why actually we have a toString method here and here. That is because we MacBook and also hard drive and also laptop are just objects, and every object inherits from the class object, which is a class for building the wall objects in the Java programming language. Okay, so if we run again the application, we have in this case also the brand name, which is here, brand name, Apple, and so on. So that's it. That's it. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and thumb up, and see you in the next video. Bye.